Hi there, this is Jeanette for Whimsy Stamps, and today I am showing you a new card featuring one of the new January 2016 release images. This is called Doggie Skywriter Valentine, and I paired him up with the Say What Speech Bubbles die set, as well as the Stitched Border die trio, and I used those dies to cut the vellum and the felt to create some clouds. I wanted to share a quick little trick that I've started to use. What I do is, because when I receive the stamps they are squared off, I draw a line across the back of the stamp using my T-ruler, and then I cut off all the excess rubber around the image. But I'll have that line at the back to show me how to put my image on the mounting block. I line up that line with the grid lines on my block, and then I know my image is straight. So then what I can do is I can line up the grid marks on my block with my mat, and I know that now I'm stamping that image straight. So that's a quick little trick, something I just started to do, and I find it really useful. So I am going to color the image, and you'll see that I put the caps of the marker on the side so you'll know what marker I'm using to color. And so I'll put a little music on for you while you watch the coloring, and then at the end of that I'll come back and share how I created the rest of the card. already pre-cut my card base and my mat. My card base measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. The red mat measures 4 by 5 1/4. And then the cardstock that the image is on measures 3 3/4 by 5. So I'm just using some adhesive and gluing all that down. And then I will be die cutting some vellum and some felt. The vellum has an adhesive back to it. And I am going to show a little bit of the die cutting. Unfortunately, I turned my camera off without realizing it while I was filming. So I cut the vellum and the felt with one of the stitch border die trios, the one that's sort of a landscape shape. And now I'm using some red cardstock and cutting out the tiny heart that comes with the Say What Speech Bubble die set. So now I'm just going to figure out how much of the felt I need along the bottom. I'm going to mark that and then cut it to size. And I will do the same thing with the vellum. Just make sure it's the right width for my card. And then once I'm sort of happy with how that's going to look, I am going to add a little bit of adhesive to the bottom of the vellum and then just tear away the backing for my felt and then just line that all up and stick it down. So I'm really happy with how the vellum and the felt look on the card. Gives it a little bit of texture. It looks like he's sort of floating in the clouds. And now I'm going to adhere those little red hearts. I'm using some zig glue to do that, and I'm using my Quick Sticks pickup tool so that it's easy peasy to get them exactly where I want them. And then I thought I'd add a few clear sequins as well. So I'm going to glue those down with the zig glue pen as well. And then the last thing I did was I took a white gel pen and I added some polka dots on the scarf and a few on the fur. And then I decided to use some glossy accents on the goggles so that they look like glass. It gives it a nice sheen. And my card is done. So thank you very much for watching. A full list of all the supplies and the links to those, as well as the Copic marker numbers that I used, can be found below this video on YouTube or on my blog dated January 18th, 2016.